Well, it's an Olympic year.
Yes,
And
it is.
yeah, and what do you do on that drive between Westwood, California, and Anaheim?
Yeah, I think a lot. I think a lot in the car. I live in Playa Vista, which is south of UCLA by about 20, 25 minutes. So spent a lot of time in that car thinking about this summer and how we're going to do it. I keep thinking about how intense it's going to be potentially an Olympic quarterfinal. I mean, there's no easy match there, and I think it'd be really tough to predict. I think Argentina, Iran, Poland, France, Russia, us. I'm missing somebody. Oh yeah, the host, Brazil. So I mean that's you get into those matches and anything can happen and the margins are so slim. It's thinking about exactly how we're going to do that. What are we going to do better? I think a lot about. We were good last summer. We had a real specific plan. The World Cup was a very specific tournament. I'd been through it twice, so I had some ideas about things I wanted to do. The Olympics are a very different tournament from the World Cup. And so we're going to have to come up with a comparable plan. And always with the idea that just because what we did last summer got us to our ultimate goal, everybody else didn't get that, and they're motivated by it, and everybody's pushing for the Olympics, and we're going to have to be better. I mean, significantly better. And so how are we going to do that individually with each player and collectively as a group?
Well, that brings me up for two questions. So the first would be how it's different. Is it largely because there are more teams and it's over the course of 2 weeks? Is that a big part of it as well?
Well, there's less teams. The Olympics are actually a relatively small tournament. That's why qualification is such a stressful part of it. You just don't send in your check and get to go to the Olympics. So we're grateful we're in it.
It's not like it girls AAU nationals.
Yeah, right. It's a little different. So, but the difference is the World Cup is so many matches in a short amount of time. I think it was 11 matches in 15 days. This is a longer tournament where you play, you're off, you play, you're off the whole way through the tournament. So for a team that has some veterans or teams that have one or two key guys that get a ton of sets, okay, the World Cup is brutal. And we benefited, I think, because we had some youth. A lot of people thought that we'd benefit because of some depth, but we actually had some injuries just before the World Cup, which made me wonder how we would do. As it turns out that we really survived because we had fresh legs that were young and were able to go all the way to the end. The last match of the World Cup, Aaron Russell, was unbelievable. The Olympics, all those veterans are going to be playing great. And all those teams that have one or two key guys that get most of the sets, they're going to be fresh and they're going to be playing great. So you'll see a lot more peak volleyball at the end of the tournament at the Olympic Games than maybe what we saw at the World Cup.
Well, that leads to the next question, which is personnel. I mean, there are people specifically out there like Reed Priddy, who was injured and seems to be coming back strong and has been a part of the program. James Shaw, the setter at Stanford, is so young. And I'm sure there are others whose names you could throw out there. I mean, I assume you have a pool that's you've got to whittle down again. The same roster that went to Japan won't be the same roster that goes to Rio.
Well, yeah.
But it could be, of course.
It could be, but well, it won't be, we know, because the roster at the World Cup was 14, and the Olympics it's 12, which is really a bummer. I'm disappointed they didn't change that. So there's 12 guys. Reed's coming back healthy, so that's certainly somebody that would bring a level of experience. So we'll take a look at Reed. I would say this, that the pool of people that we'll be evaluating for this summer will be the smallest that it's ever been. We're probably not going to be spending a lot of time. We don't have time to be evaluating too many new people to come in and give us something new and different this summer. The summer's shorter, we have less training time, and we need to make decisions by probably the first week in July at the latest. So that's not a whole lot of time to make some decisions on some new guys. That being said, Ryan Ammerman had to medically retire, and so we will need a third setter. So I think we're going to have to evaluate who that third setter might be, and my guess is it's going to be Micah Ma or James Shaw would be the two guys that would be taking a look at to fill in that spot along with Kavika and Micah Christensen.
Another young guy.
Yeah, we got a few. I mean, then they've been great, and they're starting to get some professional experience overseas. So I think we're going to see their learning curve really increase.
Speaking of young guys, you're a new daddy.
I am a new daddy.
As if you don't have enough to do, right?
Yeah. Now I got to do it with less sleep.